Hey everyone, welcome to my new channel. This is Start Smart Investing with Dr. Joanna Ray. And just to give you a little bit of information about me, if you haven't been following me on Sustainasoul, basically I am a 40-something trying to save for her retirement. And I have kind of set forth a goal of trying to reach a retirement goal of $1 million+ in retirement. And I am well on my way. However, I did get started late. I got started in my 40s, basically around the time that I turned 40. I had the really big realization that I was a bit behind in terms of my investing, and I didn't have a whole lot of money saved up for retirement. Definitely, I had some money set aside, but I wasn't putting it to work for me, and I wasn't investing it in ways to make my money grow for me. So I got really conscious around the age of 40 that I needed to do a little bit more in terms of investing and investing consistently. And I have been for the last year updating my portfolio in terms of my investment portfolios every month. Now, sadly, it's too difficult to move all of that information over here. So I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do with those videos, but for now they are up on the Sustainasoul channel. And last year I made the big milestone of actually reaching 100K invested. And since then I've come so far. It's just simply amazing. And I'll give you a chance to peek into my portfolio a little bit later. And this is what the portfolio updates are all about. It's watching me DCA, dollar cost average, putting money in consistently into the market and trying to reach that goal of $1 million invested in retirement. So actually you might say, well, $1 million, it's not really that much. What are you going to do with $1 million? I live in Thailand and it is actually a substantial amount of money. And I have done a lot of calculations in terms of what would I need in retirement based on my current spending. That's my foster dog right there, Annie. She's so cute. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. And basically, I've done those numbers. I'm more than happy to show you how I did those calculations and got to those numbers. Today's video, let me go ahead and start with a few things. Basically, I did not do any swing trades or any really selling of any positions. I did average into a couple positions. Basically, I averaged into ESGV, SCHG, as well as Ribbon, VTI, and VOO. I did have one dividend, and that was for $47.76 in terms of my money market account, which does have a substantial amount of money in it right now because I'm using it as a place to hold my cash. And now, before I go any further, I just wanted to say I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice of any kind. This is just one person on the internet sharing her story about how she's going to reach $1 million by the time she reaches the age of 60. Hopefully before, but we'll see about that. Okay, so this is a look into my Robinhood account, and right now my portfolio is standing at $46,260, which is actually a little bit lower than it has been in other portfolio updates, but only because I transferred about $7,000 out of this account in December. So it has, I have added $555 into this account this month, and let me go ahead and take a look at some of the gains. If I look at the 1 month chart, I'm up $2,950. If I look at the 3 month chart, I'm up $8,606. And for year to date, I'm actually up $1,467. So yeah, because the year to date is actually just a month or so. And for the 1 year chart, I'm up $17,493, which is simply amazing. It's unbelievable, really. But you've got to remember that last year was a bit down and it did come up at the end. The year of 2022 was a bit down. 2023, we saw a bit of a recovery, a significant recovery, and now we're still doing really well. So I love to see that kind of up and to the right look of this chart. And I do have a buying power of $8.19. So going through, and yes, my Bitcoin is up, a little bit down from where it was maybe about in January. It's only about 1,700 in terms of being in the positive. And looking at my portfolio, yes, QQQM. It's really just super good right now to see some values over 10,000, almost $10,500 in unrealized gains in QQQM. And you might notice that if you have been following me on my journey, there's no QQQ. So what happened is I did sell out of QQQ in December, and I waited a month in order to start buying in QQQM, or in this sense, essentially the same ETF, because I didn't want to have a wash sale. So I didn't like having QQQM and QQQ in my portfolio because they essentially are the same holdings. And it just made my portfolio a little bit more streamlined to get rid of the QQQ and keep with the QQQM. Now, for those of you who don't know, QQQM is the NASDAQ 100, and it basically has a slightly lower expense ratio, which is the cost that you pay to hold the ETF, than QQQ. And for those of you who aren't trading, QQQM is going to do you just as well, if not better, in the long run. Okay. And I will go through these holdings. So Pfizer, yeah, negative 333, SCHG in the positive, almost $200. Oatly down almost $220, ESGV up about $34, and Rivian down $60. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of my portfolios in terms of looking at each holding. I do have Invesco, the QQQM, which has been my main driver in this account right now. My market value is $41,950. It's almost $42,000. That's just crazy. But right now it is up basically 33%, and that is a total value of $10,484. Whoa, that's crazy. And then looking at Pfizer, yeah, this is not doing so well. Pfizer is a dividend stock, and when I bought it, it was around, let's see what my oh, I have a dividend coming in March. So my current market value is only $660. So it's not really a big position, but I'm down 33%. Luckily, like I said, this is not a big holding, but my average cost is 40, and the current average price is, or the current price per share is $26.64. So yeah, I'm not going to be selling that, and I'm not going to be buying into it at this time. And then I have SCHG. I do love the SCHG, which is the dividend stock of a Schwab US large caps, but this is actually Schwab's US large cap growth ETF. So for those of you who don't know what an ETF is an exchange traded fund, which means it's basically a basket of stocks. So instead of buying one stock or two stocks and having those individual stocks held in your portfolio, you can actually buy a basket. In this case, they're categorized as a large cap growth. And yeah, I don't know how many holdings are in this particular ETF, but basically it diversifies your risk, because instead of holding one company, you're holding several. Okay, and looking at this, I have a position of 20 shares at a market value of nearly $1,800, an average cost of $78.69, and I'm up 12%. And so I started investing in SCHG as a look at QQQM, because QQQM, even though we consider it a growth stock and it's usually very tech heavy, it is not necessarily the composition that it's going to be growth stocks, because that's not the definition of the holdings of QQQ/QQQM. It's actually just the top 100 companies in the NASDAQ. This is a play directly on growth stocks, and it has been doing very nicely. Okay, taking a look at Oatly. Okay, this is a play because I am a vegan. This is a play on kind of my values, and I thought it was a good look at something that is vegan and basically aligns with what I think is a good company. I do purchase Oatly, and I do drink it when I want a nice little kick into my coffee or my smoothies. I bought this at around, I think, $2. Yeah. So yeah, $2.18 is my average cost per share. And right now I'm down, oh my gosh, almost 50% at $217. And the total market value is only at $240. So I did invest something like $500 into this, and I'm down nearly half. That hurts a bit. However, luckily it's not a big position, and it was a bit of a speculative play. So I'm not going to be doing anything with that at the moment. The next ETF is ESGV, and right now I'm up about $34. The current price per share is $88.02. The total market value is $781. and I'm up a little bit less than 5%, about 4.6%. Okay, my last holding here is Ribbon, and it's currently trading at $15.10. I have 21 shares on the dot, and the market value is $317.10 right now. I'm down 16%. This is completely a speculative play on the electric car company. This is an electric car company that produces trucks and SUVs, and I think it could have the potential to go high. However, it's not something that, first of all, it's not a big position, and it's not something that I'm going to necessarily, cry over if it goes to zero or anything like that. I'm not saying that it's gonna, but I'm saying it is a bit riskier to hold a particular company, especially something like a newer company. Okay, so here I am in my Vanguard account, and yeah, I really do not like this app compared to the Robinhood app. However, Vanguard is a very reputable platform, and it's a brokerage which have had for a long time. And let me go ahead and show you that my total capital gains right now is $13,000, and most of that is going to be in the FIAX. So let me go ahead and show you my cost basis, and really quickly looking at the total unrealized gains right now is $9,322 in the FIAX, which is the mutual fund version of the S&P 500 in terms of index funds Admiral shares. And I also have about $300 in VOO, which is the ETF version of the S&P 500, and I have about $3,443 in VTI, which is the US total stock market, a total of around 4,000 individual companies in one holding. So that is my Vanguard account. Okay, so as you can see, my portfolio is doing really great, and it is a total combined value of, I'll put it right here on the screen, $142,000 and a bit. And that is just simply amazing to see, because my next milestone that I had set for myself was 150K invested. And I have had a significant unrealized gains. So that really has helped me along in my journey. Right now, I think it's something around 22,000 that I am up in terms of unrealized gains. And right now I have less than $8,000 to invest in order to reach my next milestone, which is 150K invested in the market. Well, technically a little bit is in crypto and a little bit is in money market. However, this is money that I've set aside, and I mostly plan not to use in terms of anything that I'll be using in the next 5 years. So this is my investment for retirement. And even though I do have a little bit in the money market, which could be for other purposes, and basically this portfolio is a testament to dollar cost averaging. What that means is you're basically buying in to the stock market at different prices, whether it's low or whether it's high. I was buying in 2021. I was buying in 2022. No matter what the market was doing, I was buying in 2023. And I was basically putting my money where my mouth was, and I was buying roughly $1,555 worth of ETFs and various holdings in those years, and now I'm seeing the rewards. Obviously, those could go up and down. That's the roller coaster ride of having investments in the stock market. And I did not sell when I was down. That's the key. Never sell when you're down as much as possible, because if you do, you lock in those losses. And I was lucky enough to have a strong gumption, and I stuck with it because I have a long-term time horizon. And I did finally see my portfolio go up a significant amount. Now, that's not to say that that couldn't change, and that's not to say that things won't turn for the worse at different points in my investing career, but that's the risk that we take in order to get the gains that we receive. I'm really excited to see my portfolio at this value, and I do plan to keep on investing my very regular $1,555 per month. I know that sounds like a lot of money, and even I'm not making that much money on my salary here in Thailand, but I am able to do it. And think about all the money that you need for retirement. It's a significant amount. If you're playing catch up, you need to find some funds from somewhere and start investing. And even if it's a small amount, basically, if you can put away $50 a week or $100 a week, that will get you so much closer to your retirement goals. Okay. So remember, the best person to take care of you, the best person to look after you is you. And you really do have the responsibility to yourself, to your future self, to do do what you need to do at a younger age to get yourself so that you are in a good position for your later years. Or if you want to enjoy your money now, that's great. However, just make sure you have enough funds in the future to take care of yourself when you might not be able to have a working income or a salary. So yeah, that's me on my journey. I wish you the best on you and your journey. If you did like this content, do like and subscribe. It will help me so much on this brand new channel. And thank you for watching this video. See ya.